Hey, hey, everybody. Welcome to Something to Bark About. Happy Monday. Y'all let me know if y'all can hear me. I had, uh, I've been pushing buttons again. And I see Brunson's here. Welcome, Brunson. No, we're not talking to you. She thinks I was talking to her. I got two up here with me. You gonna wave at everybody? Get off the edge. You're gonna fall. Hey, Ninja, welcome. Welcome, welcome. Well, I've been pushing buttons again, and I don't know. I'm gonna have to call Mr. Coop and get a lesson on Restream because I've been using my phone. Thank you, Ninja, and trying to do that. So I got my videos and stuff from the phone, but uh, now I decided to get back on my desktop, and all my little stuff I'd worked on getting at the bottom and that kind of stuff, it's not there, and it's just crazy. I don't know what I'm doing, and the music situation is definitely out of the question. I don't I don't see it no more, so and it would even play the AI music. So, hey, but y'all can hear me and see me, so that's all good. Miss Kelsey was all excited. She wanted to get in on it, and I've been playing with figuring it out for the last 30 minutes, so she's probably about ready to get down. She's like, Mama, I'm ready to go do something else now. Well, I hope everybody's doing good. I sure had fun yesterday with Star and Rogue. Um, that was a fun live, and of course, we talked about dogs, go figure, but I really enjoyed it. And uh, Star uses StreamYard, and I don't know, I'm going to do some figuring out and see which I like. And I like doing it on my phone the easiest because then I can use all my current pictures for thumbnails and that kind of stuff. Uh, this old boomer, I've hooked my iPhone up to my desktop several times, but I don't. My pictures in this desktop will be from like 2014, and I'm like, no, I want something I did last week. So anyway, so you got to catch it, Ninja. It was, I couldn't see the chat on my end unless she put it up on the screen, so I wasn't getting to see. I thought I saw Brunson was there, but I'm not sure. Um, oh, you said it was a great live. You learned a lot. Okay, cool. Um, but it was a lot of fun, and I think uh, Rogue's German Shepherd is one of the prettiest shepherds I've ever seen. And I've seen lots of shepherds over the years, but he's just got a gorgeous head, and it's just striking. And to know he's still a baby, it's going to be amazing what he looks like as an adult, because he is a gorgeous, gorgeous boy. Well, I really enjoyed doing that, and we hope to get to do that on a at least monthly basis. I think that would be fun, and maybe when I get it figured out how to add somebody on from my stream, we can try to hit all three channels. So, hey Val, welcome. Welcome, welcome. Hey French, welcome. I hope you're feeling better. I've been hearing that you've been having some issues, so I hope you're all better now. Brunson asked about Derek's surprise. If anybody caught my live Saturday while at the dog show, our buddy Derek, he's a goofball. That's what I call him, because I never know what's going to come out of his mouth. He is so funny. But we had planned, Derek is not 50 yet. I'm guessing he's probably 46, 7, 8-ish, somewhere in that range. You ought to get down and go check out your boy, but I'll let you get up here for a second. No knows wanting to join the party, but if she thinks somebody else is around there by Costa Light, she's gonna wanna go real quick to check on him. And Bendigo and Kelsey say they were all relaxed and in their spot and then gotta add somebody. But yeah, Derek's a hoot, and he hangs around. There's 4 other ladies and myself that are all close buddies and show chihuahuas, and Derek moved from Washington D.C. to the Dallas area 3 or 4 years ago and just got into showing, and his little girl Chaconda, if I'm saying it right, he imported her from Peru, and her and Kelsey are real similar. If you had them both together, you could see how much they look alike. But anyway, Derek comes in with and I figured it out yesterday. He was dressed up like a cowboy. And some dog shows I have a theme day or something. One of the shows we were at a few months ago had Western Day or whatever, but I didn't see that there was supposed to be anything going on at Longview, so he's got on boots, and he called his belt, and I think he said it on live, a belly plate or something, talking about the big buckles cowboys wear. I think he called it a belly plate. I've never heard that. But his hat was just, I was like, I don't know where you got that hat, but that's not a cowboy hat. And I started telling him he looks like Festus. And of course, he was too young to know who Festus is. And so anyway, the chat helped me remember Gunsmoke. I kept thinking of, what's the show? I'm thinking the Ponderosa, and can't think of it right now. But anyway, I knew Derek was too young to know who Festus was, so we all went out Saturday evening to Texas Roadhouse, and we surprised Derek with Paula. She had all of us t-shirts made that says Derek's Darlings, and he's just so over the top usually, pulling stuff on us, and he's a lot of fun to be around. We love him very much, but that really got to him. It was funny, and see, like if I was on my phone, I could show y'all some pictures, and I know Star was putting up a video of her babies, and I'm like, that's what I want to learn how to do, so I can share like something that went on at a dog show or whatever's going on. Bonanza, that's the word, ninja. I appreciate that. Y'all can always help me. Brunson says comments about the handler's hair had me in stitches. Yeah, and I've heard that before, that people look like their dog, but when he started, he did that the rest of the weekend, pointing out somebody that, that with the poodle people was pretty cool to see the hair color and having their hair up in a bun, and that those poodles with all the work they put in on it. But he is a mess, and I knew what you meant, stitches, Brunson. But we got one over on him, and it was pretty cute. He when when he's speechless, you know you got to him, and there was Paula, Terry, Pam, Candace, and I. So five of us that had on T-shirts saying Derek's Darlings, and oh Lord, after that he poured it on with the waitress, and cutting up all during. I call it supper. He calls it dinner, but anyway, it was a lot of fun, and I really am thankful I got to go. Um, I've had the dog show fever for a while, and uh, believe she still hates the dog show. She would just tuck them ears back in her tail and not happy. Her brother uh, finished and they'll be a year old in September, and he got his championship at the Dallas shows with like a 5 point major, and that's the most points you can get at a show. And they look so much alike, but he's so happy and doesn't meet a stranger, and believe it's like that with like in the room and even just out in public. She's like that, but when it comes to the atmosphere of a dog show and a stranger walking up and checking her out, she's like, nope, Mom, I've had all I could. I don't like this. So and then Cotton showed wonderful, but we didn't do anything. There was 9 champions competing for best of breed, and so it was a pretty good uh, selection there. And Paula, she did win. I guess that was Friday's show, and her beautiful little black and white girl Jada. Oh, she's a gorgeous Chihuahua, and Candace is her breeder, and I've been trying to steal her, and I can't even get the words. I mean, Jada kept getting in the bed and playing with me and Believe, and I would start telling her, don't you want to go to Arkansas and be an Arkansas dog? And before I'd even get 3 words out, Paula would be threatening my life over that dog. She offered me her husband instead of the dog, and I'm like, I want Jada. But she is gorgeous, and got, she's white with black spots, like black spotted, and she's just gorgeous. She's got a black head and the white markings. She's just stunning to look at, and I really like her. And I told Candace that I sure wanted to be on the list if she uh, has another litter and one a girl like that. I would sure love to have one, but we had a great time. It was hot. My temperature thing of our car said 104 Saturday afternoon, so it was a little warmish. Who won best of show? Actually, I don't know, and I had looked on Facebook. Um, I know that the smooth coat Chihuahua that won breed, she got like a group 2 or 3 one of the days. So I'm not sure. Welcome, Stacy. Good to see ya. But I'm not sure about you know. Typically, I'm like, I see friends and hang out, and do some videos, and I'm good at going back and hanging out at the hotel room and playing with my dogs. That's like my time with just my babies, and I really enjoy that. Um, and Pam, Paul, and I shared a room, so that was interesting because my kids sleep with me, and Pam and I shared a bed, and Paula had uh, Jada, her one that she got her championship, and then she had Buzz with her, and he was the daddy of one of my dogs I love so much, Jewel, and lost her. Guess it's been 3 years ago. She had a blood clot while she was having puppies, and we lost her and four beautiful puppies. And uh, just I don't even want to go there. The memory and all that was so tough, um, to lose one like that. Let's see. What's the Facebook page? You can go on, well, if you just search Longview Kennel Club dog shows. It's Longview, Texas Kennel Club. You'll probably get pictures and stuff, but uh, my Facebook is my name, Darlene, with Darleen, Wheelington. And let me see, I thought I had, like I said, what I got on here, all my captions were gone. There is my email address and my Facebook. So, and I've been getting lots of new Facebook buddies that I know is coming from YouTube friends. And I welcome y'all to send me a friend request, because that's where primarily all my, well, now that I'm doing YouTube, I do, my videos go on YouTube, but um, like pictures I do all the time of my kids and the daycare babies and that kind of stuff. Um, it it's just so, I mean, that I've had Facebook forever, so it would be so cool. I know I've got Restream that is doing this live on my Facebook too, but it would be so neat if we could, share, and there may be a way, I just hadn't figured it out. Like I said, Star was showing a video during our live yesterday of her babies, and I'm like, I want to learn how to do that, but y'all give me time. I've just been doing this since December, so as long as I don't push buttons too much, it turns out pretty good. So what's new with everybody? How's everybody's babies doing? And I got a little bit of Tug Show. I think that was it would have been a Saturday night show. I was gonna go back. Well, there he is, Mr. Coop. I was just fixing to say I was going to go back and watch Tug and Mr. Coop. I'd heard he was a guest, and on my way home yesterday, I was listening to, I'm pretty sure it would have been Tug's Saturday night show, and that I love when I'm driving like that to have YouTube playing. That just makes a trip so much easier. In fact, we showed at 8 a.m. excuse me, yesterday morning, and I was heading out by 8:30, and I was emailing Star. I'm like, I am 5 minutes from home, and I was thinking we were starting at 12 Central my time, but it was actually 12:30. So I got home at like 10 after 12, and that worked out perfect, to be able to, one, know that I had a internet. I was worried traveling that I'd go through spots that was, spotty internet, so it all worked out good. But I need to go back and catch up a lot. It sounds like just the crazy gets better and bigger and crazier every day. I did read, I watched So You Don't Have To, I guess that, I don't know if that was last night's stream or the night before, of the antis, but it was like, every time I'm listening to some of that, I'm like, can it get crazier? And it does. That's the crazy part. It's, if you think you've seen it all, heard it all, Yeah, they're pretty cool. Only three up here. Uh, they were so excited when I got home yesterday. I think I ended up with Kelsey up there, but they they were tackling me because I hadn't been home since Thursday. So, and this one, I can't believe she's left that boy in there by himself. But everybody must be asleep, so she's not too worried. No, no, no. You want back down just because I said something? Are you good? Are you cold? You're shivering. It is not cold in here. It's 100+ degrees outside. Well, Mr. Coop, congrats on getting your monetization. Is that how you say it? I know you're relieved, and that was such a big mess to go through. But congratulations. I was seeing the memberships fly in this morning, and I'm sure that really helps when you do all the work and effort it takes, and then have something like that happen. I can't imagine. I After I hit the 1K subs, I just quit even counting, because I feel like I've made such quality good friends through the internet in the last few months. It's just so cool. Like, uh, I was videoing some Great Danes at the dog show, and I couldn't remember the lady's name. I think it's Janice now, but because she sent me a Facebook friend request. But I remembered Otis, and I'm like, uh, you know, that I do that with my customers. I'll see a customer and they're talking to me. I don't have a clue what their name is, but I most of the time tell you what their dog's name is, so it's pretty funny. Stacy says, what did you say? How many fur babies do you have? They're super cute. Well, thank you. I have 12 chihuahuas. Well, actually 13, counting Cost a Lot, the baby. But my thing is, how many chihuahuas does it take to equal a whole dog? And with my 12, I'm less than 35 pounds. So uh, I'm barely getting to the medium-sized dog. But no, they're my babies. I got my original uh, mom and dad that's grandparents, great grandparents to all these kids. Promise is, she'll be 12, and Pastor will be 11 in December. So, uh, then I got two of Promise's girls out of her first litter. And, they're just, I keep one that I'm wanting to get in the show ring, and then if they love it, then great. And if they don't, I don't make them do it. Uh, Kelsey was she's a grand champion, but she's a little diva. She loved the show. Well, it's like, everybody look at me, I'm here, who you think you are, attitude, and didn't meet a stranger. And then she was running and playing with Pam, and I were sharing a hotel room, and the dogs were running and, just having a big time, about 5 of them. And it was carpet on the floor, and she yelped. They were turboing around the beds and stuff. And the next day, showing her, of course, I've got her on the leash, and she didn't act like she was in pain or anything other than that quick little yelp. I just thought they bumped into each other, but she actually tore her knee up, and that was January a year ago. And oh, it was heartbreaking to, thankfully she had knee surgery and she's fine and no pain, but She does have a limp that would, keep her from winning. So, but they're my babies for their anything, and if they love the show, that's like my cousin shows Beast. He's the number one mastiff in the country. And y'all should Google or look on Facebook for Beast. Uh, or just type in the number one mastiff in America, and you'd see this dog, and he's huge. Well, I tell y'all what, I may not know how to, Mr. Coop, if you're still here, I was talking about trying to get with you for a restream lesson so I could figure out how to do some of this stuff. Because I definitely need help to work it out. But Terry, she popped in on my live this weekend, and if y'all can see that, if I get it at a good angle, I mean, I think she told me 255 pounds or something like that. He's huge and big old baby. Oh my gosh, he's just a big boy. But she was, the plan was for her to take Believe and possibly Cotton too, with Cotton helping it be easier on Believe. But like Terry was in Longview this weekend, and she said something about New York and named off to it. So she's all over the place. When I call her, I'll always say, what part of the world are you in? And I never know where she's gonna say. Okay, Ninja, yes, Janice. I thought that was her name. I couldn't think about it when I was talking, but I knew Otis. Stacy says, "Oh wow, that's cool." Yeah, and I have 12 dogs of my own, and average 25 a day for doggy daycare. So we have the babies around here. Love when they get the zoomies. Have 3 cats, 2 Bengals, and 1 domestic short hair. Cool. Cool. I had 2 kitties, short hairs, that Zoom lived to be 21 and Cinder lived to be 18. And when Cinder passed away, I was like, and we board cats. I have 3 or 4 customers that, have their cats and dogs that we keep. I just had a Chihuahua, a Lab, and a short-haired cat boarded for 10 or 12 days here last week while they go, and we keep them every year while they go on vacation. So, anyway, well, this is my last week before surgery. You just kind of get anxious when you start thinking about things, and my surgery's next Monday, and I was looking at the calendar, and it was like 9 days, and then, 7 days, and I'm just that anticipation, I'm ready to get it over with and get on the other side of the recovery. And I've had probably 3 people call today that needed me to keep their dogs a couple of days or something next week, and I've been having to tell people no for the first week in August. We're not going to be boarding anybody unless they're already here. Darla's a counselor at a high school, so she's going to be able to have Wagon Tails open in the evenings from like 4 to 6 for people to bring them in or pick them up. But, and I've told my daycare customers, let me get through the 3rd week in August, and hopefully I can start letting my daycare come back. And that they do a lot of self-serve around here, so um, I mean, it's really, they don't need me most of the time. And just some of the dogs, if they had fingers to open a doorknob, they would, go to their spots. I mean, it's so funny to watch them every day. But hopefully everything will go like that, and we can keep the. I had, I don't know, 4 or 5 more dogs middle of August that were coming into board while their families go on the last end of summer vacation or whatever. And when people are planning on a trip or something, that's their number one thing is making sure their babies are taken care of. And very few times do I have to tell people no. I mean, we're a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week thing. It was funny. I had one of my daycare dogs that his mama got a new job, started today, and I gave her a key, and I'm like, she's got work at one of the defense plants, and I was like, here's a key, and I showed her where to put him, and she texted me yesterday and was like, are you sure 6 a.m.? Well, 6 a.m. this morning she come in, and of course the dogs that were in the big room was including 4 of my chihuahuas that love to go out there when the daycare dogs aren't here. But she put him in his spot. He was a happy camper. So that's the small town life, where you can just give your customers keys and know they're, you don't have to worry about stuff. And I always say with chihuahuas, nobody sneaks up on me. Like I hear a couple of daycare dogs barking out there now. And I was like, I didn't even lock the door because I close from 1 to 4 every day. But if somebody drives up, I'm gonna know pretty quick because they just don't sneak up on us very often. Stacy, you said you got cats. I remember that now. Ninja said you need to take care of yourself and get a little pampering. Well, I'm hoping that I will be able to do this. I may not do anything next week because the doctor had said I'd be in the hospital 3 to 5 days. So, but my hope is that this will be the first thing that I can lay in the bed and do, and I just that would be fun and help get through stuff faster, So, and I'm doing good. I mean, I have so many people that are sending good thoughts and prayers my way, and I have felt them. That was like the deal of being with my buddies this past weekend. I could just feel it, And even Derek, he gave me an extra tight hug, so I knew he was thinking. So, and that makes you feel good, I think my biggest deal is just get it done, and start. The doctor had told me I'd be cussing him the first 3 weeks. So that, he said it's very painful, and which I know breaking a rib was very painful, so I can't imagine them going around messing with my lung. He started giving me details of deflating my right lung, and he said a couple of things. I'm like, I'm good. I'm good. You do your thing. And he said the risk or heart attack, stroke, and death. And my response was, well, if those things happen, I won't hold it against you. And he just wasn't expecting that kind of response. So it was funny, the look on his face. But, I know the good Lord has a plan for me, and it's my fault when I get into the worrying and thinking stuff. So I try to keep my mind on the dogs and the good things, so there's no issues. Stacy said, "That's good, cool. You provide that service." Yeah, I've been blessed for 40 years. Every time I think about that, I'm like, there's no way it's been 40 years, but it has. Megan streamed from the bed all last week. Yeah, you saying that, I remember I was probably just listening to the show, but I remember she had something going on with her back, and that's painful. That is not fun when I've had back issues from 40 years of picking up big dogs and grooming and bathing. For my 25th anniversary of Wagging Tails, I've got a hydraulic tub, and it lowers down to about 2 feet off the floor, and you can raise it up and down to whatever size dog that fits for you, washing them and stuff. And I'm like, dang, if I got that year 5 of Wagging Tails, I probably wouldn't have the back issues I do. It is, very handy, but I've gave up the grooming. I just, if I'm standing there with one on the table, and if they're wrestling or walking around in circles, I'm going around the table following them. And I had to tell my last 3 dogs that they were going to have to find a new groomer, because I knew I was fixing to miss at least, well, the doctor said 9 to 12 weeks on recovery. And these dogs that get a haircut every 5 weeks, well, that was going to mess them up. So I just made the decision to go ahead, and I groomed everybody a couple weeks ago, and it's like, you're going to have to find a new one. And somebody in the live yesterday with Roe and Star was saying, who was that? Y'all help me out, chat. Y'all were watching. Said they were a vet assistant and going for their grooming license. And I thought that Mama Leah kind of sounds like it's popping in my head, but I'm not sure. I'm telling you, around here, South Arkansas, you could have 10 groomers, easy. You could do all the dogs they could physically do. Now, the 90% of my customers are going to El Dorado for grooming, which is 30 minutes. That's a 60-mile drive there and back to get your dog groomed. And they've got like 5 or 6 groomers. And El Dorado's probably in the 30,000 population. So, and I don't know how many groomers are in Magnolia. Hi, Bill. Welcome. Welcome. But there, and I always thought, when I started this place, I was 22. I was working at General Dynamics. I went to school wanting to be a vet, and I went on a softball scholarship. And within the first, 3 months, I tore my knee up, and I ended coming back to Camden. I had 3 knee surgeries before I could walk again. Hey, Quill, welcome. But I ended back up in Camden, and I got a very good job at General Dynamics, and got into the electronics. We were building missiles, and I went up the ladder pretty quick, uh, and I guess I was like 18, 19 years old, somewhere in that range. And, but I hated the 10 bosses telling you how to do the same thing 10 different ways. That just, and so I had worked for my retired vet. I'd worked for her through high school, and even when I was working at General Dynamics, I would work graveyard shift, and I'd go to the vet clinic and work till noon or something. And I just, love dogs, love doing everything about it. And Doc Betty kept encouraging me, saying, you need to do something with dogs. And at the time, Camden had, I think, 3 grooming places, 3 or 4. But the hardest thing was my mom and dad. My mom, not too much, but my dad, he was not a dog person. And so I'm telling them I'm quitting a job, getting $10 or $11 an hour, which back in '86, that was big money. And I'm going to go in debt to start a dog business. Well, my dad thought I'd lost my mind. He's like, this is not a good idea. And what was so cool is when both my parents retired, my dad was down here every day. He was building a fence or working on this, and he'd get the boarding dogs and let them go with him and help. And first I'd freak out because the dog wasn't where it's supposed to be, and then it would be following my dad around, building gates or whatever he was doing. Um, so I definitely changed his mind over the years of, this was my passion. And I've told y'all before, but my grandmother that died when I was little raised Chihuahuas, and my only memory was going to her house and sitting in this little building she had for them, and all these Chihuahuas in my lap and giving me kisses. And when I got in Chihuahuas, probably it's been about 15 years now. But when I decided that was going to be my breed to show and stuff, after taking care of my parents, and all those memories, my grandmother would ship Chihuahuas in on the Reeder Railroad from California and different places. And it'd be so cool to be able to share dog shows with her. She never, showed dogs or went that route, but it'd just be neat to say this. We called her Mama, and it'd be cool to say, hey, this is the show world, and share that with her. I got to share dog shows with my mom. She went with me 3 or 4 times, so that was cool. And I don't know what they're hearing, but they're hearing something. Well, guys, before I end this, y'all hang on, and I'm going to go get the star of the show. Well, it'll cost a lot. He'll be 6 weeks old Friday. And Darla gave him his first real food. We take food and soak it, and then put little milk, stirred up, warmed up, and Darla couldn't believe she put it on a plate. Normally, the first time you feed a puppy, they have more on them than in them. And she was calling me and saying, he stood right there and ate every bit off that plate, didn't step in the plate, didn't get a bit on him. And he's done that all weekend, eating. I fed him for the first time this morning, and he didn't get a piece on him. But let me set these girls down, and I'm gonna go get the little fat man. So y'all hold on just a sec. here, No, sounding like somebody's killing her.
He's okay, boy. Yeah.
No, quit. This is cost a lot for those that hadn't seen him before. Quit wiggling, I can't hold on to you. And if he wasn't so fat, he could take off flying with this little tail the way it moves.
What are you doing? What are you doing? Hey, boy.
This morning he was wanting to play, and I said, it's a shame him don't have litter mates to play with. No, I'm not hurting him. I'm just holding him and sharing him with our YouTube friends. But he is a long-haired Chihuahua. His daddy was a long coat, and when you breeding Chihuahuas, you can have long coats and smooths. No's first litter, she had 6 puppies 2 years ago, and this was her second litter, and probably last. But
One long-haired boy. It was one long-haired boy. And everybody knows I only want to have smooth girls. You know, and I get a long-doe boy. What you doing?
I know your mama's crying. Anyway, well, we hope everybody has a great rest of the day. Yes, Quill, he is very chubby, and this is all milk. You know, years ago, I heard a vet say that if you can lay a plate on their back and it doesn't fall off, they're too fat. Well, he's been in that category since he was born, but milk.
Milk fat. You were milk fat, weren't you?
Oh, well, he's a cutie. The plan is for Pam and I, that Pam owns the daddy, and we're going to co-own this one together, but she's keeping him at her house.
Because she likes him long coats.
I think it's just the psychological thing about being a groomer all these years. And when I say long coat, it just does something in my brain. I'm not hurting him, no, I'm just holding him. And y'all talk about a good mama and crazy about him. Oh, she crazy about this boy. Yeah, you do have some teethers. Darla was saying she bets he could already eat dry. And we may just have to give him a few pieces. I will, welcome Stephen, welcome. I'll share I was in a pet store Saturday, and I'm sure some of y'all saw the turtle one short I uploaded earlier. And I was just walking around wasting time or enjoying, and there was this hamster or gerbil or something, and it's in a bowl of food, and this little back was that wide, and I'm videoing him saying, "You look like Cost a Lot," you know, and he gets a big old piece of food in his mouth, and I guess I hurt his feelings because he ran in his little house to eat it, but I'll upload that later. It was pretty cute. But y'all will see exactly what I'm talking about with that gerbil or hamster. He was just
A fatty. Yes, it was.
But say, once I get to running around big, I'll lose that milk weight.
Yeah, he'd lose that will.
Quit fussing. You're making him not be. He's thinking something wrong because you're down there crying. It's going to be tough on No to let him go, but he'll be here. I don't like to let him go until about 9-10 weeks old. The longer they get to stay with mama, that's their first obedience lesson. So when a mama dog is weaning her puppies, that's the first time they're told no. And if people get a puppy at 6 weeks old,
they don't get that obedience lesson to start, huh? Is she crying down there? It's okay. Yeah, she's just being a good mama. Well, guys, thank y'all so much for joining, and thank y'all for talking about something to bark about, and I really appreciate all the sweet messages and all I've got, and everything planned. We'll do another live this Wednesday, and y'all take care and have a great rest of your day, and remember, there's always something to bark about. Love y'all. Have a good one.